So we're back again for another episode. We're here at M Studio.
Siyempre.
So for you guys, this is the new studio of Moss that we created for us. So we can make better content for you, but you guys can also rent this space. So if you want to know more information about it, look at the link below. And now for today's episode, we are going to talk about the most common interior design mistakes. I'm Cindy, Mrs. B.
I'm Mado, Mr. B.
And you're watching Mr. and Mrs. B of
Moss Design House.
Woo! For today's episode, we are going to discuss the common interior design mistakes that we usually easily spot when we enter a home. Diba? So, these are about 10, starting with colors. Okay, so the first common interior design mistake that we see is that one color for all mistake. When I enter a home, and then they decide to pick red as an accent color amongst a sea of white sofas. That red that they see in the throw pillow, yun na rin yung red para sa curtain. Yun na rin yung red para sa table napkin.
Sa carpet.
Like, yun na rin yung red for carpet. I mean, then it feels like it's too stark and it just looks overall
nalunod yung white na sofa.
Silly. The way to work around using a good color, accent color, is that to have different tones of that. So, you go one red, your middle tone, then 2 shades lighter, 2 shades darker, and then you sort of like distribute that around the house.
May balance siya.
Then you sort of like create balance, diba? And gradual. Hindi your eyes are not the bibigla na parang biglang gano'n. Another one, if you don't want to go monochromatic on one particular color, you can also do a complementary color. So instead of that red, just red, you can go with another warm tone, which is maybe orange or rust. You can also do it with a darker gray, you know, something that really just goes well with that red. Obviously, yung tayo mag-green, kundi Christmas yun, di ba? Or like brown.
Oh, nagjo-joke ka. Nagjo-joke.
Second interior design mistake.
Yung furniture matchy-matchy. Pupunta ka ng store, home store, bibili ka ng sofa, and meron siyang kamatch na another, kumbaga set siya, di ba? So, match siya, di ba?
Basically, the common problem that we see whenever we enter somebody else's home is everything's just too matchy. Yun yung sinasabi niya. That, to the point that it really falls flat. Remember our discussion in one of our interior design biggest secrets, link below, the 70-30 rule or a 40-60 rule depending on your level of comfort. So 70 would be matchy and then 30 would be the wild card, or you throw that as like, you know, something that gives personality. I think that's really one thing to note, and I'm all about personality and all about making sure that your home reflects who you are as a person. So make sure that there's sense of balance when you're picking out your furniture.
So yun, the third is the mixing of wood tone.
Yes, parang there's too many
maraming kahoy.
Wood.
Maraming nangyari.
Na it's not anymore jiving together. So I've seen this in home buddies, no? The team kahoy and the team puti, right? But you have to remember that wood tones also have different undertones. What does undertone mean? And we've explained that previously. It's the underlying color of a specific color. So, merong puti that has a pink undertone. There's white that has a brown undertone, yellow undertone, green undertone. So, all these things really do matter. So, in wood, it's also exactly the same thing. So, make sure that if you want to use varying shades shades of wood, maybe 2 or 3 would be at best in a house. Again, hindi naman tayo matchy-matchy, but make sure that it's the same undertone. So if it's like a walnut color, then there's medium walnut, there's light walnut, you can go ash wood as well.
Tsaka parang ata hindi lang yung yung tone niya.
Yeah.
Ikaw considers wood.
And
pati
the
yung haspe.
right.
Yung grains ng wood.
Oo. So the grains also matter in the wood. The fourth common mistake that we use, eto talaga sobrang common.
Yung wrong area rug size.
Yes. Oftentimes, we see it, either the area rug is too small or it's too big. Pero oftentimes talaga, it's just too small. Rule of thumb, everyone. The area rug in a living room should cover at least the first 2 legs of the sofa. Okay, that's the most practical. However, if you can afford and you have an expansive space, make sure all the legs are inside the carpet. Just be very careful kasi if you have a small space and your area rug is like super big, it has a tendency to make your space small.
Yeah.
So you have to have that kind of balance
Hindi
as
na
well.
define yung space.
But if you have a big house and you can afford to have a big area rug, obviously because you live in a big house.
Basta big house, big budget.
Have a good sizable rug that defines exactly the space in the area. Area rug, I feel, is such a must in bedrooms. I mean, especially if you have a hard floor, because bedrooms are supposed to be cozy, warm, intimate.
It makes it softer.
And it makes the space softer. But the trick in using area rugs is it has to be at least 2/3 or 1/2 of the bed size. I mean, kailangan when you step out, meaning kasi pag tayo mo, you're gonna automatically step on an area rug. So it's neither too short, meaning advanced on the foot of your bed, and it's neither too deeply set in. The next common mistake that we see is
Scale is wrong.
Yeah, so we can't stress this any further. And you've seen this in our previous interior design secrets, that scale and proportion does matter. So this is when people decide to bring in their furniture without considering the scale of their home. So either smaller furniture pieces in a bigger house that makes the furniture look peony, or really big pieces and bulky ones in small, tight spaces. When you buy furniture, you always have to consider the space that's given, the height, the clearances of the doors even. How is the scale of a chair going to affect another piece of furniture that is already existing? So, di ba, a lot of times, especially when you're moving into a new place, nare-repurpose yung mga things. And I have nothing against repurposing, and I love and I'm an advocate for repurposing. But sometimes, not all hand-me-downs of pieces really do work. So how do we fix? What is the solution in scales gone wrong? Appropriate sizes of furniture and furnishing in consideration to the larger scheme of things. Second would be hire an interior designer, because really the truth is, usually ang nakaka-notice lang nito would be interior designers or people who are very technical, because you need a floor plan to determine that it's properly placed. Ergonometrics, yung mga ganon na nako-consider. Yeah, if you would decide to do it on your own, just be very cautious on the space overall. Eto, nangyayari to talaga.
Yung arranging furniture, flushing against the wall.
Because the space is rectangular or square, doesn't have to be that your furniture needs to be arranged that way.
Nakasagad,
so, yung iba nakikita namin, nakasagad talaga. So, all like furnitures are all against the wall, which gives a lot of like space in the middle, or it just doesn't give that dynamic or that personality or like that oomph in a space. Solution for this one is that if you have a bigger space, don't be afraid to put it more central. Don't be afraid to create in nooks in certain areas. You know, you have to create vignettes and just put a rug under to sort of like ground them and just, you know, kind of like bring them all together. The seventh most common interior design mistake is
using just one decor from one era.
the reason why homes kind of like look outdated over time is because there's just this decision to just use one specific theme or like era, and that's for the entire house. So kind of like looks overdone. So for example, when you want to use mid-century and it's just mid-century for the whole house.
Kung Rococo.
Or like if it's Rococo for the whole house.
Guys,
or
too
like,
much is too much.
So the workaround with that is to kind of like combine and have a good transition. So if you want to go mid-century, you can sort of like combine that with something more contemporary. So then it kind of like works. Or like if you want to go Rococo fall, you kind of maybe do French, modern, or like if you want to go Art Deco, syempre it's not full Art Deco, you want to go Art Deco contemporary. You know, there's a lot of kind of like modern elements that you can combine together just so it doesn't feel like it's overly done.
What's nice with that, if you combine yung era ng ano, it becomes like parang timeless yung
yeah, so explore pieces, furniture pieces that you can sort of like mix and match coming from different style periods that kind of like, you know, creates this whole nice cohesive look. Ako, kaaway ko to. The diamond pillow arrangement. Like, please, guys, don't ever do this anywhere in part of your house. So, okay, pahingin nga na actual pillow.
Pillow!
Oh, may pillow ka. Alright, what's a diamond pillow? You know when you have a sofa, tapos lahat ng pillows nyo nakaganon? Diba? It looks very staged and it looks very unnatural. That doesn't deserve a place in your home. People, please, this is a mortal sin. Don't do this. So the best way is really to just arrange this like this, perhaps by size if you have two sizes. You have to fluff it like that.
Yeah.
Again, no to lazy pillows. You have to kind of like, not karate chop na nakaganon siya talaga. You kind of like something that looks very...
Be gentle naman.
So just make sure that pillows are well fluffed and arrange them by size.
Yes.
Okay, guys? The ninth mistake that I see, choosing the artworks wrong. When you choose an artwork, it kind of needs to be part of the narrative of your house. So, hindi siya parang, you know, just because it's a blanco one and I want to put it there, you just buy from wherever store and put it there, diba? So, sometimes the artworks has a tendency to stick out too much, which I'm not sure if that's the vibe you're going for, but if it's not, then try to make sure that whatever art piece that you want to put goes and blends well. They're kind of like easy on the eye too.
Yes.
The topic is nothing too outrageous. You know, you don't want to have
for example niyan, kunyari, modern yung interior mo, tapos may tatlong kabayong tumatakbo yung artwork mo. So dapat pwedeng geometric.
Oh yeah, I mean something or
lines lang or
something that's like abstract, but
yeah,
on the just like a good tone. Make sure that your art pieces subject feels very you. Second is that to make sure that the colors belong in your whole color palette and the artworks are really part of the narrative of your home.
Yeah.
And then last,
huwag magpaka-fad.
What is that?
Fads, too much. Following fads.
Binasa mo na. Don't follow fads too much. Sabi niya, wag daw makikiuso. So,
makiuso. Makiuso. Oh. Tama?
So, fads fade too fast and class stays well and stays longer. So, there's nothing that beats classy pieces. Following trends can make a place look dated over the years. It might also look like it's not very you. So, diba, there's stuff like you can just see in Pinterest, magazine, that, oh, this is the trend and this is the uso for the year. I just want to make it happen for my home. And then you look at it and then it just looks like a magazine cover, but doesn't really tell a lot of story about yourself. Make sure that there's always a sense of balance. You can have trendy pieces, but you can have also classic pieces to make sure that your home stands the test of time. Have your trendy pieces on things that can be easily changed. Para if next year, 2 years from now, it's no longer the trend, then that's easy for you to change. There you have it, the common 10 interior design mistakes that we've seen so far. If we missed out on anything, guys, let us know and just comment below.
Comment, guys. We like reading your comments.
Okay, guys, but before we go, we want to mention this again. You've seen it in our past 2 episodes. So our road to 200,000 subscribers. So help us please reach that because Mr. and Mrs. B wants to work with you. So to find out more about that, go to our community page and you'll see a lot of details about the Design on Demand and road to 200,000 subscribers token of appreciation paandar keme. So guys,
help us guys.
Help us guys.
Help us guys.
Like, share, subscribe, and
hit that notification bell.
But wait, guys!
Thank you, Asvesti.
I wanted to say thank you to Asvesti because they did sponsor a lot of the spaces here in M Studio. And, you know, this lime wash paint. Find and visit again Danny Barreto's home transformation to find out more on how to apply this. So, I'm Cindy, Mrs. B.
I'm Mado, Mr. B.
And you're watching Mr. and Mrs. B of
Moss Design House.
Woo! Yay!